Russia's military has announced it's withdrawing from Ukraine's southern city of Kherson and nearby areas, in what would be another in a series of humiliating setbacks for Moscow's forces in the 8-month-old war. Ukrainian authorities did not immediately confirm the move, and President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has suggested in recent days that the Russians were feigning a pullout from Kherson in order to lure the Ukrainian army into an entrenched battle. Zelenskyy called attempts to convince civilians to move deeper into Russian-controlled territory theater. Read more. Facebook parent company Meta laying off 13% of employees. The top Russian military commander in Ukraine, General Sergei Surovikin, reported to Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu on Wednesday that it was impossible to deliver supplies to the city of Kherson and other areas on the western bank of the Dnipro River that it lies on. Shoigu agreed with his proposal to retreat and set up defenses on the eastern bank. The withdrawal from Kherson, which sits in a region of the same name that Moscow illegally annexed, would be another significant setback. The city, with a pre-war population of 280,000, is the only regional capital to be captured by Russian forces since the February 24 invasion began. Ukrainian forces had zeroed in on the strategic industrial city, which sits on the Dnipro River that divides the region and the country itself. Read more. Joe Biden defies history as Democrats dramatically outperform expectations in 2022 midterm elections. During the summer, Ukrainian troops launched relentless attacks to reclaim parts of the larger province. More than 70,000 residents were evacuated in late October, along with members of the Kremlin-installed regional government, according to the Moscow-appointed officials, although Ukrainian officials questioned the claim. The remains of Grigory Potemkin, the Russian general who founded Kherson in the 18th century, also were reportedly moved from the city's St. Catherine's Church. The city and parts of the surrounding region were seized in the opening days of the conflict as Russian troops pushed their attack north from Crimea, the area illegally annexed by the Kremlin in 2014. Read more. Mother of sisters involved in deadly alleged hit-run speaks of heartbreak in recent months. Ukraine used U.S.-supplied HIMARS rocket launchers to repeatedly hit a key bridge on the Dnipro in Kherson and a large dam upstream that is also used as a crossing point. The strikes forced Russia to rely on pontoons and ferries that also were targeted by Ukraine. The Russian announcement came as villages and towns in Ukraine saw more heavy fighting and shelling Wednesday. At least 9 civilians were killed and 24 others were wounded in 24 hours, the Ukrainian president's office said. It accused Russia of using explosive drones, rockets, heavy artillery and aircraft to attack 8 regions in the country's southeast. Ukrainian and Russian forces also clashed over Snihorivka, a town about 50 kilometers north of Kherson. The president's office said widespread Russian strikes on Ukraine's energy system continued. 2 cities not far from Europe's largest nuclear power plant were shelled overnight, it said. More than 20 residential buildings, an industrial plant, a gas pipeline and a power line were reportedly damaged in Nikopol, which lies across the Dnipro River from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Further west, in the Dnipropetrovsk region, the Ukrainian governor reported massive overnight strikes with exploding Iranian-made drones that wounded 4 energy company workers in the city of Dnipro. Attacks on civilian infrastructure are war crimes in themselves. The Kremlin is at war with Ukrainian civilians, trying to leave millions of people without water and light for them to freeze in the winter, Governor Valentin Reznichenko said on Ukrainian TV.